Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the DC Democratic Party's campaign resource webinar. Today we have Jose Gamboa with Act Blue. Welcome, Jose, who will be letting us know about Act Blue, how it can be used for campaigns and/or organizations.
And thank you so much, Claudette, and hi to everyone watching. I'm very happy to be here and be able to share some information about how you can use Act Blue to strengthen your campaign fundraising. A little bit about me, obviously, as Claudette introduced, my name is Jose Gamboa. I'm an outreach associate for Act Blue. My pronouns are he, him, his. And I work directly with federal and state and local campaigns in the state of Florida, Kentucky, and now Washington, D.C., which I'm very excited about. Apologies for the typo on the presentation. It says 2024, but I guess my mind is already on the presidential cycle. So we can go ahead and just get started, right? So a little bit, some of you, most of you, hopefully, will already have heard about us, about Act Blue. To put it in simple terms, we're the leading payment processor for progressive and democratic campaigns in the country. We're a nonprofit. We've been around for about 16 years and started very small out of Massachusetts, supporting local campaigns there. And now we have grown to be one of the biggest ones in the country. And really our mission and our goal is to make sure that we are democratizing access to fundraising opportunities for political campaigns, understanding that no campaign is too big or too small to turn away small donors, and why it's important for those donors to be part of your campaign and your movement. So basically, we're happy to be the infrastructure that fuels people-powered change across the country through those small dollar donations. Now, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why using Act Blue, and this is some feedback that we've heard great from all of our candidates and users. But overall, we've had small dollar donors that have given over $11 billion to groups exclusively on Act Blue since 2004. That includes presidential campaigns, Senate campaigns, local campaigns, city council, ANC, as we were talking about, mayoral elections, you name it. The average contribution size for campaigns is $44.31. So you can see really that our tool is being used by folks who just want to chip in, no matter how small the amount is, to contribute to the campaigns that they care about. One of the many cool things about our platform is that we have no hidden fees. We only have a 3.95% credit card processing fee that's passed along. And most groups can get started within 24 hours, so long as you have your campaign bank account, as well as a tax ID number. Thousands of groups have used Act Blue, and they trust us for their fundraising, more than 22,000 as of today, to process those small dollar donations that they need day in and day out. And one of the key things that we mentioned to folks is that your donors are probably already using Act Blue. We have one of the biggest databases of donors that's out there, specifically because folks in recent years during the pandemic have taken a lot to online action, specifically donating online. And they have been registering their information, saving their payment information on file. They already have used tools like Act Blue. They're familiarized with how our service works, and they trust us to process their donations as well. So all this to say that just we want to focus on the power of small dollars to build big change. And Act Blue is a tool that's specifically focused on small dollar donors. But why do we do this? The first thing is obviously that small dollar donors allow to diversify your revenue streams and never tap out. This also builds donor affinity and commitment. So when you're taking advantage of working with folks who are making these type of contributions, they have stake in the game, if you'd like to call it. They are willing to put their money behind your campaign, your organization, your local committee, and what you believe in. And they also serve to tell a good story about your cause. So the cool thing about Act Blue, and I'll go into that in a little bit with our reporting tools, is that you can see how many small dollar donors you're coming in, where they're coming in from, and that allows you to paint a compelling story about your campaign or organization and the work that you're doing. And it's also a great way to empower supporters to help fight for the change that they want to see. We really, really heavily encourage campaigns and organizations to never rule out the importance of digital fundraising and using tools like Act Blue because you never know who is out there that might not be able to join you in person for operations on the ground, knocking on doors, etc. But they want to contribute because they believe in your cause and what you're fighting for, and they can contribute that through a small dollar donation. So basically, we're passionate about making it easy and effective to give online. And we have a couple or many actual features and tools that can help you make it more easy and effective for folks to get involved. So speaking about the features that we have in terms of availability for campaigns and organizations, we have our digital wallet options, which allow you to use things like Apple Pay, Google Pay, and most recently, we have included PayPal and Venmo as payment options. So folks no longer necessarily need to have a credit card on file to be able to make a contribution, but if they have a PayPal or Venmo account, they can make that contribution for your campaign. Obviously, you have access to our expert digital fundraising support. So folks like me that will be here to help you strategize and make the most out of our tool, out of your messaging, and help however we can. We have great contribution forms, which are the links that folks access or your contribution page if you'd like. And they'll be able to see all of your customizations, your logo, your name, learn a little bit more about you. All depends on what strategy you're trying to take advantage of when you're doing your digital fundraising. And then most importantly, as I already mentioned, we have real-time analytics and reporting that make it easier, not only for you to understand what that behavior of small dollar donors is, how it's behaving for your campaign, but also when it comes down to submit those compliance reports, when you need to maybe get matching information if you're in Washington, D.C. for the Fair Elections program, all the information that you need to submit those contributor cards is available at ActBlue. And again, these are features that are available to every group, no matter what size or no matter what campaign you're running for. In terms of the ActBlue Express and digital wallets, in Q1 of 2021, we actually found that almost 3/4 of donors gave through ActBlue with a saved payment or digital wallet. So as I mentioned, that involves Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, or Venmo. But we also have what's called ActBlue Express profiles. So people who have donated and they have created a profile on ActBlue, they can save their payment information for the credit card. And the next time when they're asked to contribute to your campaign, they'll be a returning donor, which means there will be less information that they have to fill out. So everything like address, occupation, contact information, if they've already added that, then they won't need to put that in again, making the donation process a lot faster, a lot easier. And 13.9 million donors have ActBlue Express accounts. Tied to that, we have the ability of using a tool called Express Lane, which allows for single-click automated payments. This is a tool that ActBlue can enable on request for campaigns and organizations. And as long as the campaigns are disclosing that the contribution will go through immediately as soon as the donor clicks that link, then we allow you to take advantage of that tool. This all translates to happier supporters and higher conversion rates that you don't need to go get your wallet. You don't need to look out at your card number. If your information is already on file, then you can make that contribution right away. Another one of the features that we're really proud of is our ability to take advantage of recurring contributions. And for context, a recurring contribution is just as simple as asking for a donor to give you $10 a month instead of giving just $10 right now. And with ActBlue, you can automatically ask small dollar donors who make a one-time contribution to start a smart recurring donation. We have a couple of ways to go around this or to go about this. One is obviously when folks are making a donation, they will get a prompt to make their contribution monthly. But then you have the ability to add extra steps where folks can be asked if they want to make that contribution monthly, whether that is at the end of the contribution process or in the middle. And then one of the key things or cool things I'd rather say that we have is that we have an option for the smart recurring, as it mentions there, which will prompt to the donor based on algorithm, not to donate monthly the $10 that they just gave, but instead if they'd like to donate a similar but smaller amount. And we've seen higher conversion rates for monthly contributions when that is messaged in that way. But basically, overall, it allows campaigns to easily engage new and existing recurring donors for additional giving opportunities. We do have a tool called Bump Your Recurring, which we basically provide a report to the campaign and say, these folks can get a customized link that allows them to bump their recurring contribution. So if they were donating $10, you can ask them to now donate 15, just to give an example. And we help you throughout this entire process when you're trying to contact the donors. The importance of this is that a recurring program will help you budget and sustain your campaigns. So we always like to emphasize that this is a key tool to use. We also have our tandem fundraising forms. So basically, this is a tool that allows campaigns and organizations to fundraise together. So in this specific example, we're talking about campaigns and organizations, but obviously ActBlue also fundraises for charities. But you can fundraise for multiple groups on a single contribution form. And this looks a little tricky, but I'll explain it in a case that most of you will probably understand. When the Senate elections in Georgia headed to a runoff, and we had Senator Warnock and Senator Ossoff both competing to win that election, they used tandem fundraising forms to split their contributions. So if someone gave $100, then that will be split automatically 50 and 50. You can do the same if you're part of a coalition of small local candidates, or if you're part of an organization that's trying to fundraise for candidates that you support and you want them to receive their funds directly, then tandem fundraising forms allow you to do this. This just basically, it's a great way to build relationships with other organizations and create new pockets of supporters, as exposing that information to new donors will make them aware of your campaign, or vice versa, will make them aware of the organization that you're trying to support. With our standard contribution forms, which are again the contribution links that you can use, the main thing is that you can create as many as you'd like. So it's unlimited mobile optimized contribution forms with your own branding. By mobile optimized, we mean that they'll be able to access your contribution form on a phone, on a tablet, on their computer. You will not have to do any extra steps of coding or changing any settings. We do that all automatically so that when donors access your contribution form, it will match the device that they're trying to use. Our contribution forms are also easily shared on social media. We allow you to modify the thumbnail images. So if you want to display your logo, a specific picture, a picture of yourself if you're a candidate, anything that you want when you're sharing that on a thumbnail that will look on text messages, Facebook, Twitter, and anything that basically has a thumbnail as a preview for what you're sharing. On our customizing your settings, you can make it so that donors can include tweets or posts with your messages and images. So if you want to write a pre-written message for your donors to have, then they can share your contribution link. That message will already be written out. You don't have to do any extra step there. So you're getting folks engaged on social media through people who have already contributed to your campaign. So taking advantage of as much of those resources as you can. It's easy to link the donate button to your website, and basically you can fundraise anywhere and anytime. The cool thing also is that you can add a whole spectrum of modifications to colors, to the coding, to the font that you're using, and make the contribution forms as unique as your campaign. Something that we're very proud of is also that if you are targeting specifically Spanish-speaking audiences, we have Spanish contribution forms. So our standard language and compliance will be automatically switched to Spanish. We unfortunately do not help directly, or yet not have the ability of translating whatever you put into the text of your custom messaging. But I will say that you have staff like me who are proficient in Spanish and can help you write that message if you ever need it. But basically, this just allows for the compliance part to get switched automatically. And this just makes it an inclusive and giving experience for Spanish speakers. Now, this is very specific to the communities that you're, campaigning in or that you're running for. But that is something that we do have available. Going back to what I was mentioning of mobile optimization. So here's a couple of key things of why this is very important. So over half of 2021 ActBlue contributions were made via mobile device. This is very important because right now, so many digital tools have maybe sometimes accessibility issues. And this is one of the things we're most proud of, that no matter what device folks are using, they'll be able to see your logo, see your messaging, be able to contribute to your campaign, and just make it easy for folks to get involved. As I mentioned, it allows folks to give anywhere at any time. and the branding will remain consistent. So for example, if you add a header with your campaign logo or your campaign colors to your ActBlue form and it is visible on computer, you can make it so that it is also visible on mobile devices. For our real-time analytics, this is an example of how a dashboard would look like. So if you can see there, it kind of shows you a volume of dollars, which is the little blue tall tower that's rising up. And then the plot points above are the number of donors. So it kind of allows you to equate number of donors and number of dollars received. And also, this is something that you can modify to whatever date of your campaign you're working with. So it makes it easier at a glance to know how campaign has been performance on fundraising, what data are you trying to report or to share with media if you're sharing your fundraising numbers. And it also allows you to create a strategy moving forward, right? So you can say, we've seen an influx of donations coming in on Saturdays at this time. So that allows you to say, well, we're going to send more emails or we're going to maybe make bigger asks on that time because that's when we've seen the best results. And overall, I feel like it just makes you feel motivated because you see real time the hard work paying off, right? So you can see how your emails, your phone calls, if you're doing call time, your text messages, whatever you're doing to raise funds, this allows you to see it real time and be motivated. Another cool thing about ActBlue is that we operate great with integrations, and integrations are just easy ways to transfer data and transfer to other digital tools that you might be using for other elements of your campaign. So we have integrations that tie to compliance software if you're trying to use something specifically for your compliance reporting. We have things that can transfer to customer relationship management software. So think about like if you're using Salesforce or Salsa or even NGP, which does kind of compliance and CRM as well. All that information can be transferred automatically. We've just enabled SMS and email platforms. I'm sorry, we just enabled Google Sheets, which now allows you to transfer all that information into a nice Google spreadsheet. So no need to be paying for another service that you may not be needing or using at all, because you can have ActBlue just send all that information to your Google Excel sheet and be able to see all that information there. But also, as I was saying, SMS and email platforms will be connected as well. So this basically means that you can get your contribution data whenever you need it. You can access your ActBlue dashboard from your mobile device, from your computer as an admin of your account and get access to all this data. And you can also build customized reports that have the information that you need. So for example, with our reports, you can have Report Builder, which will allow you to select information that you want on your Excel sheet. So if you only need first name, last name, email, and phone number, because you're just creating a contact database, you can create a report that only has that. If you need more information, for example, if you're submitting to compliance reporting, you can select those, or you can just download a blank report, a report with blank options to basically include everything that we collect. Overall, all of our tools and everything that I've just mentioned make it so that we've never lost a head-to-head test against another platform. And the cool thing about it, or the best thing about it, as I'd like to say, is that you'll get support whenever you need it. So our exceptional ActBlue representatives, such as myself, are here to answer your questions, help you strategize one-on-one, conduct more in-depth demonstrations if you actually want to see how ActBlue works, how it would feel like to have an account, and we can walk you through all that. And we're only one email away to support@actblue.com. That's our main channel. I do have my contact information, which will be available. That's in the last slide. But if you want to contact our general support channel, that's support@actblue.com. And if you already, if you loved it and you think this is great and you could use it for your campaign, if you want an account, all you have to do is go to www.actbluesetup.com or just actblue.com and click on Get Set Up, and you'll be able to access our intake form. Our compliance team works very hard to make sure that we're answering any questions and any account setup requests as quickly as possible. And in cases where you are campaigns that are maybe launching on short timeframes or critical elections, special elections, you name it, then we can always work with you on getting that time set done even sooner. We also have a few helpful resources. I'm glad this is recorded because folks will be able to just take note of that or take a picture, but we can also send it to everyone. We have our account FAQ for support. So if you either have an account and you want to learn a little bit more about the tools we have available, or you want to know more about AgBlue overall before signing up, then we have our support.agblue.com support page, and there they'll have multiple articles about how to use our tools, why our tools are winning the game in this kind of digital fundraising scenario, and what more can you do to maximize that fundraising opportunity. We also have a blog, so blog.agblue.com. Here you'll find not only AgBlue information, but also tips and resources about digital fundraising overall. So think about email strategy, recurring donation strategy, messages, anything you can think about. Really, our team of fundraising experts has tried to write articles about it and share with everyone, so all campaigns can take advantage of that. And then if you are using our contribution forms, then we do have a link for design guides. That is all that I have for today in terms of talking about AgBlue tools, but I could not leave without leaving you with my contact information. Again, I'm Jose Gamboa. That is my email. Please feel free to reach out at any time, and I'm happy to help with any questions or concerns you may have.
Thank you, Jose. How much is the service?
Oh, okay, sorry. So we don't charge any sort of like membership fee, setup fees, none of that. There's only a 3.95% of all contributions that come through that will go towards the processing fees, right? So the credit card charges processing fees. This is just kind of how we cover that. But we're a nonprofit, so we don't charge you monthly or have any sort of hidden fees or none of that.
And what is SMS? Because you said that it connects to SMS as well. Just for people who might not understand like campaign lingo and why it would need to be connected to anything else.
Yeah, absolutely. So SMS, we're talking about text messages, and some campaigns like to use specific services to massively send out text messages. I'll give you an example just because it comes to the top of my mind. Platforms like Hustle, they allow you to upload phone numbers and then just click, 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 send messages. You can connect AgBlue to a platform like Hustle to determine who out of those people who got a text message with your contribution link actually donated. So all of that information will be easily connected.
Thank you very much. And then how, if someone gets the service, how long do they have AgBlue? Is it for just one campaign cycle? Is there a one-time payment? Do they have to purchase AgBlue? Like, they purchase AgBlue, they win. Do they need to purchase it again? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so again, we're a nonprofit, so there's no need to purchase anything. You will not have to give us any money at all. Like, you could create an account, and if you don't raise any money for like a month, there won't be any processing fees. There's nothing you have to pay, none of that. And basically, when you create an AgBlue account, you'll have it for that cycle. And then if you're running for re-election or if you're running for a different office, then all you have to do is let us know and we'll work with you. If it's a different office, then we'll just create a new account for you. You'll have to fill out the form again. And if you're just running for re-election, we'll make sure to update the EIN tax number, the bank account if it's different, the district if for some reason it has changed, and then we just reactivate your account.
Thank you. And then are you the person to contact, because DC has a lot of campaigns. Can people reach out to you directly about anything? Yes,
absolutely. Please do. There's my email, jgamboa@agblue.com. I work with all campaigns in DC, everything from shadow rep to ANC. this is my part of my new turf of state, so I'm still learning a lot about DC, but I will be here to help with any questions you have.
Thank you. And that's all the questions we've got. Thank you. And thank you everyone who's joined. See you next time. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Claudette. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.